Social platforms that have CEOs that do not take professional measures and simply do not care, those platforms do not last. Hey world, welcome back to Keith's Universe. So as you can see, the title of this video is The X-Fools, because the truth is the alternative social networks are already out there. So I announced about a year ago that I had left Twitter, or X as we now call it. At the time, the only viable alternative for me was Mastodon, which I'm still a very active user on. Originally, Bluesky was invite only. They eventually started giving out more and more invites, and then eventually went totally public. So, how has life been ever since departing from the bird site? Honestly, it's been amazing. I get much more interactions from Bluesky and Mastodon than I ever did on Twitter or X. So things over on those platforms are a lot more productive. There's a hell of a lot less trolling, although that could change as I have noticed that the activity on Bluesky has increased a lot. And unfortunately, that does lead to some less like-minded individuals interacting with you. As a result, for the first time ever on Bluesky, I had to block a homophobic user last week. That's always fun. But all in all, the user experience in comparison to X is so much better. So even though I am no longer part of the X community, I know what's going on. I know from the various news articles and Reddit posts and the like, and occasionally users on Bluesky and Mastodon will share screenshots of the various shenanigans that occurs quite regularly on the X social platform. So let's recap the events of the X-Fools. So Musk buys Twitter for $44 billion. Total waste of money, if you ask me. Says he wants to be the champion for free speech. But yet he bans a load of journalists along with the Mastodon Twitter account for some reason. Can't imagine why. Then he bans some more users for questioning him and calling him out. Isn't that such an amazing display of freedom of speech? Wow. Oh, and if that's not bad enough, he has also banned the usage of the word cis, as in cisgender. He claims it's a slur. And yet people wonder why the left refer to Elon Musk as Space Karen. And for context here, just to really illustrate how much of a piece of work Musk is, this is a man who himself has a trans daughter, has publicly disowned her. And by the way, I really have to give props to his daughter Vivian for just not putting up with and just not accepting the bullshit and nonsense of Elon Musk's transphobic shit. So then Musk starts charging users to get the verification badge, basically allowing anyone who's willing to pay for it to have a verification badge, which in turn made the entire thing totally and utterly pointless. Then it turns into a subscription service, originally known as Twitter Blue, now it's called X Premium. So basically, if you don't subscribe to the subscription service, you're pretty much locked out of a lot of critical features of the social platform. In fact, all new users to X now have to pay a minimum of $1 or your currency equivalent per year just to interact, just to type a post and send a post, which is kind of insane since Bluesky and Mastodon are offering the same service for free. Then of course we had the whole controversy of a hell of a lot of advertisers leaving Twitter and no longer agreeing to advertise on Twitter, causing Elon Musk to have an absolute meltdown and tantrum, blaming the advertisers and threatening them and so on and so forth. And the situation has been continuing to get worse and worse from there. Of course, as we all know, Twitter has now become X. The entire website and apps have been totally rebranded. It's basically become another version of Truth Social. A social network filled with some of the worst kinds of alt-right types, from misogynists to transphobes, homophobes, racists, Nazis, you name it. In a recent report, it was found that 99% of the hate speech posted on X, in comparison to when it was known as Twitter, was completely and utterly ignored. If I was Elon Musk, I would be so embarrassed by that. But then again, Elon Musk no longer has a shred of humanity left in him. X is a platform that continues to disintegrate in value. It is now only worth a fraction of what it once was. To this date, it has now decreased in value by 79% compared to Musk's original sale. He's got to be at least embarrassed by that, being the money-ruthless capitalist that he truly is. Then of course we have the decision from Brazil to totally block X from all of its app stores, which caused Bluesky to receive a massive increase of new users. This was a decision based on the massive amount of misinformation being posted and shared on X. Now, whether these new users on Bluesky will remain on Bluesky remains to be seen. But from what I can see, being a very active Bluesky user myself, I can see that there is a very active and very passionate Brazilian community on Bluesky, and I am totally here for it. And despite Musk's childish, empty threat of, unless the Brazilian government returns the illegally seized property of and SpaceX, we will seek reciprocal seizure of government assets too. But suffice to say, he has totally given in. He will be paying all of his fines, which will result in Brazil lifting the ban on X. But whether the new Bluesky users from Brazil will stay on Bluesky or go back to X, I guess we shall just have to wait and see. Then there is also the matter that Musk is interfering with the US elections like no other tech CEO has ever done in the past. Plus, the amount of conspiracy theories this guy spouts out on X is really insane. It's no wonder at all the Brazilian government sued him. How anyone can be okay with being a member of a social network that is run by a guy who clearly doesn't care about the truth, spreads misinformation every chance he gets, says he cares about freedom of speech, and yet bans and silences anyone who disagrees with him, challenges him, or contradicts him in any way. How anyone can support that and be okay with that is truly beyond me. I mean, Elon Musk is such a great example of an alt-right conservative who pretends to care about freedom of speech. Spoiler alert, he doesn't care about freedom of speech. He doesn't support freedom of speech. He is lying. He has been lying the entire time. People like Musk and many other rightists like him only support freedom of speech when it is their speech been spoken and not when it's the speech of others. People who support freedom of speech don't ban words like cisgender. They don't try to silence journalists and other users for questioning them, challenging them, criticizing them. And they don't spread misinformation because that's not freedom of speech. Elon Musk is a fake smart person. He is a fraud. He gives himself way too much credit. If you are at all progressive, if you are on the left and you still want to be part of social media in some capacity, do yourself a favor. Don't be on X. You won't be accomplishing anything. All you will really be doing is speaking into a void filled with Nazis, pro-genocide supporters, anti-LGBTQ bigots, and really every other bigot under the sun. Now, I'm not going to tell you to join Bluesky, but what I will say from my own experience, it is a much better experience with a much better community and a CEO I actually respect. I suppose if I had to predict what may become of X, well, this is my prediction. I think there's going to be a lot more lawsuits. The levels of personal security and privacy are going to continue to be stripped away. As it is, if you're a member on X and you block another user, they can still see your content. So online stalkers are already having an absolute field day on X. I think the value of X will continue to sink, so much so that it will no longer cease to function and cease to be, and the entire thing is going to have to be shut down. Social platforms that have CEOs that do not take professional measures and simply do not care, those platforms do not last. We've seen this with Yahoo. Remember Yahoo Answers? Well, it's gone now. The same thing is going to happen to X. It may not happen as quickly as many of us would anticipate or guess, but it's going to happen. All the signs are there. And so that's where I'm going to leave today's video, everyone. What do you think is going to happen to X? And why do you think people still trust X as a social network? Let me know in a comment down below. Or if you prefer to leave a video response, share your video response in the Nerdy Keat subreddit link down below. And until next time, everyone, bye world! Thanks again for watching, everyone. If you liked this video and would like to see more, then subscribe to see more. Or if you'd like to check out some of my other previous videos, you can check out previous videos on this channel and also my main channel, Nerdy Keith. And also feel free to follow me on social media such as Mastodon and Bluesky.